The last piece that we need to cut out or come up with for your tote bag pattern is on the back of your pattern. Remember, we talked about back here, it tells you what notions you need. And what that means is things like thread, and some things need zippers or whatever. The only thing that you need, in addition to, of course, thread, which you have to sew, is for view B, you need a piece of cardboard or plastic canvas, is what it's calling for, that is 16 3/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch. Okay? That's going to go in the bottom of your tote bag. If you think about those grocery bags that you have, reusable ones, they have that support in the bottom of them. That's basically what you're creating. This can be whatever you have around the house. If you have an old project board left over from some high school project, generally those are made out of either a foam core or a cardboard. Any box that you get, with the exception of your sewing machine box, which you need to save in order to send your sewing machine back, so please don't use that box. Any box will do. The other thing, and this, for those of you who are doing this in the first half of the class, you will not have your utility knife. And I'm sorry about that. If I had been thinking, I would have gone ahead and included that in your sewing kit. But one of the things that makes a good support is this are actually political campaign signs, of which there are so many right now. This is one from, like, actually not this June 11, but last June 11, from a friend of mine who ran for city council down in Lewisburg, West Virginia. He let me have all of his signs, and they've been all kinds of things for us here in the Department of Theater and Dance. But that plastic, it's called Coroplast, and if you look at the edges of it, you can see that it's sort of corrugated, just like the edge of your cardboard is, which I have a piece of cardboard right here. And you can see it's got that corrugation. The difference is this is made out of plastic. So this is pretty sturdy. It's also something that we end up having a lot of, and it's nice to reuse it. So I'm going to show you like two different things that you can make this out of, and that you can cut, ways you can cut it. Okay, so 16 3/4. Your see-through ruler, mine is blue. I believe y'all's are pink, but it's the exact same ruler, laid off in 1/8 inch increments, but then it's got these big marks in here that are 1/4 inch. So 16 3/4. It's also an 18 inch ruler, which is kind of perfect. This piece of cardboard is relatively square, so I'm going to measure from this side up to here. And the great thing about these clear rulers is that they are see-through, so that you can see through to both sides of them. So that's 16 3/4, and that's 16 3/4. And then that's 16 3/4, and that's 16 3/4. Just to show you what I'm talking about. Each of these little squares, which are really hard to see, each of these little squares are 1/8 of an inch, okay? So then there are these big marks that are 1/4 inch, okay? So 16 3/4 was right there. And then I've marked it all the way across. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to strike a line. Okay. So that's the length of the thing. And then it needs to be 3 3/4 this direction. So I'm going to do 3 3/4 this direction. That right there. Moving out of the frame. Slide back this way. 3 3/4. 3 3/4. that. It's almost enough for two, but not quite. Okay, so your cardboard, you can actually, and again, this is why we do not use our paper scissors, our fabric scissors for these kinds of things. But your paper scissors, you can gnaw through this and this cardboard, and you will still be able to gnaw through a piece of paper, but you will never be able to go through fabric with them, okay? So I'm gonna cut this. This is a little tough on the wrists, so up to the center like that. Then I'm gonna go up to the center like this. Okay. All right. And then you can sort of clean it up, okay? And then I would just cut along this edge right here the same way, okay? Your scissors most likely are not going to enjoy, well, I don't know. They might. You might be able to chew through the coroplast with your scissors as well. And that would be a fine way to do that as well. What I want to show though is for the people who are doing this project, second in line on the class is how to use your utility knife. This utility knife is a little different from yours. I believe yours has a fixed blade. This is my, as you can see, it has Harper written on the side of it. It's my own personal utility blade, and mine retracts. But this is a really handy tool to use. One of the things that would be convenient for you in using your utility blade would be to have sort of a long metal ruler. You have in your kit, your toolkit that comes to you, like a smaller metal L that will work for some of these. I'm going to demo this with a metal ruler. A metal yardstick. You could also, if there is a metal, if there is a wooden yardstick, you could do that. The trick with the wood is that your utility blade will cut through the wood somewhat. You don't want to use your nice plastic ruler as a guide for your knife, because you will chop up the edge and make it not very good for future use, okay? So on the cardboard, if you're gonna do cardboard, you lay your yardstick, and scooch that way, okay? Pull out your blade. Also, you wanna make sure that you have something underneath you that you're not gonna mind cutting. When I send you stuff for crafts, I'm going to send you small pieces of our cutting mat, but that won't help you on a long cut like this. So what I would do is I would put another piece of cardboard underneath here, like a scrap piece of cardboard underneath you that you don't care about, okay? But for this, I'm going to a line all the way down, okay? Now I'm pretty sure that didn't go all the way through because this is really tough cardboard, okay? Didn't even crack that. That's crazy. You notice I am keeping my thumbs well away. There we go, okay? From that, now you can come over to this side and you can very gently pull along your fold line. There you go. and this is the bottom for a tote bag. Okay, you can do the same on your chunk of plastic. Don't go stealing anybody's signs before the election, but a lot of times they're old signs people will leave up for businesses and whatnot. Those make great coroplast also. So just to show you a quick cut on this, I think what I'll do is I will just do the long cut on this one because I'm sort of running out of time. 3 3/4, 3 3/4. If you'll also notice you're going to notice that you are able to cut more easily. Like this direction is going to be a little easier for me to cut than was the going across the grain of the corrugated cardboard or corrugated plastic. Yeah, see, that just sort of cut like butter there. It's a little bit, got a little wobbly there. Shave that off. Okay. And then 16 3/4 right there. Again, this is going to be a little harder because you're going across those. Got that little bit of a ridge there. Okay, there you go. All right, and so we have 2 possibilities for the bottom of our tote bag. Great, thanks so much.